Good morning, it's Friday the 24th of March. I'm Daniel and we are sitting in double-decker in Dnipropetrovsk. So I was never meant to be a chef, and when I was a child I had no desire to be a chef. I had an interest in food but not really a desire to cook as a career. I'd wanted all of my life to fly a plane, and I applied to the RAF, and it turned out that during the process of the application we discovered that I was colorblind, which means that I can't see colours. Or I can see colours, but different variations of colours. If I have two similar colours together, it can be a little bit confusing. So basically, after I had this happen to me, I started to wonder what else I could do with my life, and the only other thing I could think of that I enjoyed doing was cooking. So basically, because of this, I became a chef. Also, I was fixated on traveling, and I knew that if I became a chef, there was a good chance that I would be able to travel with this career. So I then started at the Savoy Hotel at the tender age of 15 with an apprenticeship for 4 years, where they sent me to college on day release, and I got into the spirit of cooking with the people around me, but I wasn't yet, I hadn't got the bug for the actual cooking and the creativity. At this stage I was merely just learning, and from that I didn't really see that there was a world outside of the hotel industry and the Savoy. As far as I was aware, there was only really sort of two hotels that were worth talking about, and that was the Savoy and Dorchester. From there I left and went immediately to work in a one-star Michelin restaurant, and from there, from being in that restaurant where they were literally cooking every dish from scratch, making the sauces to order, from there I started to realise that, well, actually there's much more to this than I first experienced. So after doing the circuit in London with Michelin restaurants for a while, working for some really amazing chefs, I was about to settle down and buy a house. And my best friend called me and said, "What are you doing? You're 21 years old and you're buying a house. Come out to America and experience life." So that's what I did. I got on a plane and went to America, which was a great experience. I was mostly working in Relais and Chateau properties while I was there, which was obviously amazing. I mean, they're some of the best hotels in the world, all small, all quite individual, all a little bit quirky, and very, very high standards. So from there I then started to feel like once again that I was missing out on the food industry, and not really the food industry but the creative side of things, which led me to Chicago. Obviously Chicago being one of the city hubs for creativity and food, and still to this day amazing chefs there. Started to do my own creative thing. After a year and a half of being a head chef, I realised that we had actually huge interest from Michelin at this time. 3 visits in less than 6 months, so I think we were on the right track, but I realised that there was a major flaw in my skills, and that was pastry, which then took me to Tom Aikens. I'm working on the pastry with him for about a year and a half, and then also doing some rounds in the kitchen as well. It's kind of filled the missing link of what the skill set which I didn't have at the time, and that made everything complete. From there I just wanted to be creative at every level, and it led me to having an opportunity in Moscow in Russia, where I was given a 54-seat restaurant and told, go ahead and cook what you want. which was absolutely amazing. So after doing that for 3.5 years and gaining substantial amount of accolades and awards and a lot of media attention, it was an amazing process. Going back to London from there has been challenging, because London is saturated with restaurants right now, and I just feel that there's not much room for creativity there anymore. Everybody's all about business and finance and figures, which when you put in your creative end of things, it doesn't always work out the same. When you're being asked to buy cheaper produce, inferior produce, and still cook amazing dishes with it, it doesn't equate to me. If you start with a bad ingredient, you end up with a bad ingredient. So this has then led me to look at working in other atmospheres. Hence the reason why I've ended up here in the Ukraine. So I've been working now with Lena and Ruslan of Mishi, Blyahera for about 2 years, and all three of us were quite scared in the beginning of making major changes to the menu and scaring away the clientele, essentially. So we've had to go slowly by slowly and little by little, but we're now getting to the point where we're doing some amazing things. Lena and Ruslan are very keen on having local produce and championing Ukrainian produce for several reasons. One, it's a cost issue, but also to have something which we can say it's our own. We now have farmers, individual farmers for produce. Like we've got one guy who rears pigeons for us. We've got another guy who rears chickens for us. We've got a guy who makes black garlic for us, and the list goes on and on. So it's really quite impressive what they're trying to do, and I like what they're trying to do, and I fit to this model. So with regards to these dishes, the sweetbreads, it's something that's pretty much unknown to the Ukrainian market. We managed to find a butcher who raises and kills his own lamb, and so we've got the sweetbreads from him, and it's a funny story actually, because he didn't even know what they are. So it's absolutely something new for this market. And as we've got wild garlic absolutely coming into season at this minute, we've created a new dish around this. So 100% seasonal, 100% local, and super tasty. So we're going to cook the sweetbreads very lightly in a stock first, and then pan fry them and deglaze with a little bit of vinegar. And then we're going to make a nice wild garlic emulsion to go with it. I think it's going to be super. With regards to chicken, we've also got a guy in Kiev who rears and kills his own chicken for us. Absolutely a better product than we can find anywhere else. We tried the chickens from the markets, we tried the chickens from the suppliers, and nothing really fits the bill. It's all just a bit flavourless. So we actually spent a lot of time to find this supplier, and it took us a long time to get him to work with us. He is now working with us, and we've just received the first batch of chicken. So again, with regards to local produce, it fits the bill. And then we're going to pair that with the black garlic, and we're going to make this into a charred leek and black garlic puree, and then pair that again with very seasonal veg. So we've got asparagus just coming into season now, we've got peas coming into season, and some spinach. And we also have a guy who's producing pigeons for us. He is in Zaporozhye. It's about 80 kilometers away from here. They're actually quite big pigeons in comparison to European pigeon. But again, it's a wild product pretty much, and very well looked after. So it's something also interesting for us to have on the menu here. So right now it's limited to a weekly amount that we can get hold of, as he has yet to expand his business. But again, it's something that's new and interesting and super flavorful, so why shouldn't we have it? The past week and a half we've been changing all the food again, and we've got some amazing results, amazing dishes coming out. Customers really happy. We did a dinner last night also, and that went really well. So for me right now, here is the main focus of my challenges and my creativity.